Welcome to RMS Sales Training and Inspiration. I am here in the awesome town of Atlanta, Georgia. What a great privilege and blessing being here. Life is good in Atlanta. We're doing these great shows, and today I got a special guest, Mr. Shawn Benson, who's done great, wonderful things in this business. And not only has he been a great salesperson and still is, obviously, he's a great leader. He's a mentor. He really reaches down and helps out all the people in his group, and he's done an awesome job, especially within our group and within our team and also in the company. He's won several trips and done some great things, making lots of money. But we're going to share with you a lot of things that are helping people in his group. And I want to ask you this question, and this is a serious question. Are you a Lone Ranger Retriever representative? And what I mean by that, are you the person that just goes out each day and you kind of keep yourself? Maybe you're motivated, maybe you're not motivated, maybe sometimes you work hard, maybe sometimes you don't, maybe you take a day off here and there and you have no accountability at all. That's what I call a Lone Ranger Retriever representative. If you're that type of person, I'm speaking to you today. It's time to think differently. Do not be a Lone Ranger Retriever representative. It's imperative. It's important. You have to reach out to people. You have to find a mentor. Find somebody that's in life that you want to be and where you want to be, and do exactly what they do. So here's what I'm telling you. Whoever's trained you in this business, or whoever your leader is, or whoever your mentor is. And if you don't have one, find one today. I can be your mentor. Shawn Benson could be, Jason Woodward. We have so many leaders, Ronnie Austin, Pete Longton. Reach out to the people that are successful and just drive them nuts, okay? You have my permission. Drive our leaders nuts. We know the representatives that are working are the ones that call. We know. The ones that aren't, been around for a couple weeks, they don't call us. So what does that mean? They know everything and they don't need us? No. It means that they're not putting forth the effort and they're not learning as much as they need to learn. So each and every day, here's what I want you to do. I want you to be in touch with your mentor in the morning and let your mentor know, I'm leaving right now. This is the area that I'm going to. Throughout the day, and I have many representatives that do this, send statements. Take pictures of statements. I helped a couple representatives this week close about 5 merchants just by doing this. Rich, here's a statement. I don't understand it. What do you do with this one? Showed them exactly what to do, showed them how to close it, closed it with them. They wrote the deal. They walked out. I got it. I wrote it. These are the people that are successful. Start doing that throughout the day. Obviously, you're going to have questions. You're in a merchant and they ask you a question and you may not know the answer. Well, I'm going to call up the person that does, and they're going to help me close the deal. At the end of the day, you're going to give a report on exactly how your day went. This is accountability, and it's important that you be honest with this accountability. Whatever happened during the day, tell your mentor exactly what happened. Like, for example, if you went out in the day and you talked to 25 merchants and everybody rejected you and you felt bad, that's exactly what we want to hear from you. We don't want to hear, I had a great day. I talked to 25 merchants and I presented 23 of them and I'm probably going to write them next week. No, that's not going to help you at all. Tell us exactly what happened. So if that was the case, we're going to say, obviously, you need a little work on your opener. So tonight, let's work on your opener. Let's practice that. Or maybe another day was something where you're having trouble closing. We're going to work on things with you there also. So the bottom line is, if you reach out to the people that are successful, you are going to have success. Do not talk to people that are negative. The worst thing that you can do is, if you're having a bad day, is to call somebody else that's a loser. I'm just being blunt with you. Call them up. Hey, I had a bad day. What are they going to say? I knew you weren't going to make it. I knew you weren't going to make it. You're with me now. We're both losers. Let's have a party. You don't want any of that at all. You're going to call up the person that's in life where you want to be. Success breeds success. Remember that. So I'm excited to have my special friend and a great, great guest on our show today. He's going to be taking over the show, and he's going to share with you some wonderful things that are going to help you to become successful. So looking forward to it. Break out your notebook. Break out your pen. Get ready to write these things down because it's going to bless you. We're going to take a short break. I'll be back in 2 minutes with Mr. Shawn Benson. We'll see you in a couple minutes.
Hey everybody, Johnny Van Zandt here from Skinner. Hey, I want you to donate to the Hands and Feet West Side. West Side's the best side. There you go. That's where I was born at. Anyway, hey, listen, they're feeding homeless vets, homeless people, helping people recover. They're a good organization. Don't forget, donate to the Hands and Feet West Side. God bless.
Rock and roll, bro. Please donate to the Hands and Feet Foundation West Side today. This ministry is a 501c3 non-for-profit organization. They feed people everyday hot meals. They give away clothes and food, and they also offer a sanctuary and prayer. Donate to the Hands and Feet Foundation on the West Side, Jacksonville, Florida, right there on 103rd Street. God bless you. Tell them American Hearts Radio sent you. We're on a mission for God.
Please visit Hands and Feet Westside, www.facebook.com/handsandfeet.org, or give them a call at 904-465-5083. 904-465-5083.
Hey everybody, go to handsandfeetfoundation.org and support them. Don't forget, support, support, support. For the Son of Man who came to seek and save the lost. Luke 19:10.
Hi, Rich Norton here with Retriever Merchant Solutions. Retriever Merchant Solutions is an independent sales office for Vantiv credit card processing. If you're a small business and you're tired of paying high credit card processing fees with a lot of garbage fees and you're getting terrible service, time to call us. We're a direct processor. We're going to give you better rates, better service, and you'll be happy you're with us. Call 904-434-4635. Just ask for Rich Norton. I'll be blessed and happy to help you.
Are you ready to increase your credit score? We get results. Restore your credit score. Lower your interest. Here at Trinity Credit Counsel and Financial Services, you can repair your credit score today. We specialize in identity theft, medical bills, student loans, public records, tax liens, collectors' accounts, repossessions, evictions, foreclosure judgments, bankruptcy, and much more. Instagram at Tammy Credit Specialists. You don't have to live with bad credit. We get results. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Establish and maintain good credit. Go to www.elitecredit101.com or text your credit to 678-857-64. That's right. Just check out Tammy Dennis-Arnold. Get your credit repaired. Tell them American Hearts Radio sent you. Also, watch Tammy's web television series, Seeds of Financial Abundance. Only on American Hearts Radio WebTV. U.S. Law Shield, protecting the Second Amendment and your rights.
That's right, people. Sign up now for a year and get locked in on a fixed rate and get 2 months free when you text American Hearts to 1-281-603-0105 to receive your offer. All attorney fees are covered. 24/7 attorney answered hotline. Civil and criminal trials covered. No caps or reimbursement. U.S. Law Shield. Tell American Hearts Radio sent you.
U.S. Law Shield, protecting the Second Amendment and your rights.
Welcome back to RMS Sales Training and Inspiration. We're here in Atlanta, Georgia, with my awesome special guest and dear friend, Mr. Shawn Benson. I'm happy to have you here. Yes, I'll give you a hug too. You're awesome. So we're thrilled that you're here. Shawn has been just doing amazing things in this business, and you've been in the business a couple of years. I know you had a little short break in between, and now you've come back better than ever and accomplished great things. You went on our your first trip to the Bahamas. Yep, and we were in the Bahamas. We actually really do go on these trips, like, believe it or not.
We have pictures.
We have pictures that prove it. Cayman Islands, Bahamas, first class trip. So President's Choice, Double Diamond, winning all the awards, and you're a true leader, not because you're just great at it, because you lead by example. And I tell everybody the best leadership is leadership by example. If you're leading the parade, people are going to follow you. And I've always kind of had that attitude that I'm not going to let anybody outright me in my group. That's going to be,
absolutely.
I'm going to be the leader. I'm going to lead by example. So if they can say, hey, you don't know what you're talking about, well, the numbers prove, it speaks for itself.
Absolutely.
But you obviously do the same thing, and I respect you, and you're a great mentor. And with the things that we talked about in the beginning of the show, mentoring, I'm sure that relates to you. So share with everybody just real quickly, how you got started, some of your keys to success, and then I want to get into some of the amazing things that you do with your team, because you've got a great team and they love you and respect you, and they think the world of you. So let everybody know out there.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, for those of you that are not aware of who Rich Norton is, he will not toot his own horn, but I can't begin to tell you the blessing I feel in my life to have him be a part of my life, both personally and professionally. I've never met an individual that sets the standard higher for himself than he sets for anybody else, and that's a sign of a real leader. So I have a constant example in Rich and a number of other guys in this company that I have a great deal of respect for. And I caught Rich's brief monologue here coming into our little segment about finding a mentor, and Rich Norton is one of the few mentors I've ever had in my life, along with Brian Camster, actually the CEO of this company, that both absolutely do not just talk about doing things, they just get out there and do them and make it happen. So for those of you already with Retriever, I'm preaching to the choir, and for those of you that are not on board with Retriever yet, you have no idea what you're missing if you don't join us. So that being said, just a very brief storyline in terms of how I came on board this business. I'm sure it'd be shocking to hear that I've had some extreme low and high moments in my life. We all go through that, right, Rich?
Correct.
And I can think back, to the early summer of 2013, very specifically, because it was a very challenging time in my life for me. I was still in I would label it as a very selfish, immature mode in my life, to be somewhat self-deprecating, but just being honest. I think that one of the great things about the folks in this company is we all just get to be honest with each other, and we love each other for that.
We're real.
And we're real. Yes. And that being said, my wife and I had some major financial issues and some major emotional issues as a result. That's one usually precipitates the other. And we had a very challenging time in our marriage, and got to a point where we really were wondering whether or not we should even keep going or not. And long story short, the Lord absolutely intervened in this process of where we were at with us through a good couple friend of ours, and one thing led to another. And as I was not working, looking for something to do to make a living, I ended up on a Christian retreat weekend called Tres Dias, and gosh, I could tell you the story, and the rest is really history, but I'll elaborate a touch. So I met this big guy by the name of Jason Woodward, who most of you have either seen or heard of or know. And
we love Jason.
And we absolutely love Jason to death. And Jason and I just hit it off instantly on this retreat weekend. By the way, the day before the weekend was going to start, I told my wife I wasn't going. I felt guilty about going on a church weekend versus being out looking for a job, as a matter of fact, to state the truth. So
God had a different plan.
God had a different plan, and thus entered this big guy by the name of Jason Woodward into my life, and through the trials and real emotion of that weekend, not only did I find myself, did I find my own humility that I needed to find in life, I found a place of belief again in myself, in the Lord, in my wife, and again made some great friends in the process over the weekend. Well, one thing led to another, And Jason and I ended up serving on a weekend together several months down the road. I had picked up a rep job just for something to do, and I was making a little bit of money, but I run into Mr. Woodward once again. This time we're serving on this same weekend, and he pulled me aside. He said, "Hey, how's life? How's the work front going?" And I said, "Oh, you know, I'm swimming in mud at this point, but still looking." So Jason took the time to explain to me that not only did he find what he really considered to be, I think his words were something along the lines of, he found his last first dance in business. I think that's what he said. And boy, those words just resonated with me. And I really believe that this was a God thing, and I will go to my grave believing that, of course, in terms of Retriever Merchant Solutions. But that was my entry point into the business. Jason briefly touched on the success he had in this business with me, and rather than wonder whether I believed him or not, I'll never forget, we went out and sat in his BMW, and he opened up his iPad, and he said, "Look, I'm an open book. Just take a look at the deposits I've had in my account in the last 30 days." And candidly, that's all I needed to see. And I think within a few weeks, I was out riding around with Jason for a day of training, and respectfully said, "I think I've seen enough." And
I'm ready.
And I'm ready. And I hit the ground running. And I think there's a real piece here to be sure and catch with what I just said. I have the privilege, through the blessing of being a part of Rich Norton's super group, to be a team leader, which means that I do training and some mentoring and hiring with the blessing of Rich and Brian Campster in our company. And I will tell you, I see there's generally 2 or 3 types of personalities that come into this business. The ones that excite me, I'm always looking for work ethic. If I think someone's willing to work, I have enough confidence in my own training ability and motivation ability to help an individual get going. But kind of like the heart of Tom Brady, which I hate to admit with my friend sitting here, you know, I'd hate to be a draft scout that would have to pick quarterbacks coming out of college, because the one thing you can't see in somebody is their heart.
That's right.
And boy, I can tell you, in this business, if you come into this business with a heart, with a work ethic heart, and you really have a desire to help people, as we all preach nonstop, anyone that's a leader in this company, and we lead through production and through example, you'll hear them all say the same thing: we go out and we help people. And that's precisely what we do. Now, we all have a little bit different way of doing that, but that's the common theme with every big producer that I've ever met in this company, and I've met a whole bunch of them. So that being said, I would tell you that I didn't wait to feel as if I could write a novel on the topic of merchant services before I got out and just busted my backside and actually got in front of some folks. I immediately went out and went to work. I know that's the formula that Jason Woodward used, the gentleman that brought me in. I know that's the formula that Rich Norton used. I know that's the formula that all the President's Club folks who might be listening by chance, I know that's the formula that they all use. And that is to don't spend so much time planning that you forget to go out and work.
Very true. There's so many people that do that. You know, it's like, I'm going to be out there next week or 2 weeks from now. As soon as I get everything down, then I'm going to get out there in the field. And they procrastinate, and sadly, a lot of times don't even get out there because they've studied so much that they forgot the most important thing is just go to work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And sometimes I'll have newer reps ask me, "Well, Shawn, what did you do the first 30 days to get comfortable with this business?" And I'll tell you, there's this thing called the internet. And it's amazing what you can learn when you put your fingers and you type into this little thing called Google.
That's right.
Okay? And you type things like merchant services, how to go out and sell merchant services, what are the typical objections of a merchant that you're going to go out and call on. I would challenge everyone to tell them, be it an 8-year veteran or be it a guy that's been in the business for 1 week, I can tell you, if you have the work ethic and you have the fortitude to educate yourself with this wonderful thing that we call the internet, you will know more in 1 week being in this business than any prospect that you will ever get in front of. And that's a message I preach to my guys that are probably grinning right now listening nonstop, and that is, you have to understand, 1 week into business, in our business, if you just apply yourself with your own initiative and get online and read about the basics with what we can plug in with you, you'll know more than anybody that you ever sit in front of.
Absolutely, and great point, because you think about this is like when a lot of us first started, I talked with other representatives, it's like, here's your book, go out there and do it, good luck, call me when you got a deal. Obviously that doesn't work. I mean, you got to be stars to make that work. But for all that we do and what you do for your group is incredible. I think about, and it's time consuming. You know, you put a lot of time because you care about their success. And Zig Ziglar said this: you can have anything in life that you want if you help other people get what they want out of life. And that's what we do. And I think about not only on the internet, you think about the show that we're doing right now. We're going to do a bunch of these shows. We're going to have training videos. We have motivational things that we do each day. We have videos. We have training classes. It's nonstop. So it's all there for you. But all you have to do is just apply it. And as you said, and as any successful representative has said, you got to go to work.
Got to go to work.
As simple as that. So tell me some of, because you're a great leader, and I'm learning things from you. I'm under construction. I never say that I've arrived. I'm learning from new people. I want to keep growing, because once we stop growing, we start shrinking. But some of the things that you do with these people that are in your group, and I'm telling everybody that if you've been trained by Shawn Benson, you are blessed. If you're part of his group, you are blessed. Share with everybody some of the things that you do, and I know you do this on a daily basis, and I want everybody to hear that.
Well, again, thank you, Rich, and without Rich's leadership, I know I'm preaching to the choir for those of you that know this gentleman sitting next to me, but none of this would be happening on my end, certainly without Jason's leadership he gave me coming in, without Rich Norton's leadership. So I just don't ever want to ever not state that. But that being said, for those of you that have listened to some of Rich's materials, Rich is an incredible motivator. He is an inspirational, true mentor of mine, true family member of mine. I'm not sure to call him my older brother or older younger brother, or what the case may be. Maybe we're twins.
Twins.
There we go. But the leadership by example, I just can't begin to state enough how having a real mentor in the business, again, going back to your monologue that you were talking about, you just literally took the words out of my mouth that I wanted to share, and that is find someone to emulate. And to the degree any of the folks that I bring into this business that I have the privilege of training and interacting with, to the degree you attempt to emulate what I'm doing, you can't even begin to imagine what a compliment that is to me and what a privilege it is for me to play that role. So that's the mentality that I have as I have created, where I believe that my gifting comes into play is really right along the wall of Rich Norton's incredible motivation. And so Rich never fails to motivate myself and all the folks that are involved with his super group. So what I've challenged myself to bring to the table is an actual systematic selling process. A systematic selling process. Now, what does that mean? Well, what it doesn't mean is going in with a pitch book and winging it and hope that the prospect doesn't bring up anything negative.
Right.
And they're just you happen to catch them in the right mood, and they may or may not have time for you. Okay. I believe the energy that any of us walk into an appointment with, that my energy is going to dictate whether or not they take the time
Absolutely.
to talk to me.
Absolutely.
And I think it's my responsibility to put my mental framework in place when I walk into that call to make sure that the energy pouring out of my body is stating, oh, you want to listen, you want to interact with me here, and you will want to sign paperwork and join the train here. Don't miss the train, okay? Now that's not arrogance and that's not overconfidence. That is what I call belief. Belief, absolutely. I have a little acronym that I use with my particular training system in this, and again, there are lots of guys in this company that are great trainers and great leaders. I'm just aspiring to be one myself. And so I use an acronym I recently coined this, and I call it SCRUB, as in scrubbing the dishes, scrubbing your hands, scrubbing your body. I like the sound of it, and let me tell you what those topics mean.
I want to hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, the S in Scrub, it's a system. You have to have a strategy. I'm going to ask an obvious question. I've had McDonald's quarter pounders with cheese probably in most of the states in this country. Not that I'm bragging about my diet, but you know one thing that's amazing to me, Rich? They always taste the same.
That's true.
I always
Even
know,
in Germany. I had one in Germany.
I always know
Yes.
what to expect. There's a reason for that. The McDonald's brothers, before they were given their pittance for the entire empire of systems that they built to create the food brand of the world, if we want to talk about junk fast food, they created systems. That's my point. And I would challenge anybody out there, old or young, veteran or brand new, what is your strategy? What's the purpose of a system? Okay, the purpose of a system is to have a communication chassis. And that communication chassis, this is not a pitch. It's a word I despise. It's not a pitch, and it's not a presentation, and it's not me talking 90% of the time.
Right.
As we've all heard in sales so many times, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. And if we keep that ratio in mind when we walk into a client, it's so much more powerful. So step number 1 in my mind is to have a system. Well, I have a system. It's a 10-spoke selling wheel system, and it is a mental checklist that provides you with the ability from a thought process standpoint in real time to stay in control of that conversation, to stay in control of that interaction. Now, we don't have time in a 30-minute segment to get into the details of this, but I'll give you one silly example. Oftentimes we'll have, we end a call by saying something, by the client saying something along the lines of, "I'll think it over." Mm-hmm. Rich, have you ever had that happen? Okay.
Once in a while,
so
absolutely.
We deal with these things called "I'll think it over." Well, one of the pitfalls of somebody getting to the point where they think it over is because somewhere along the line in that conversation, in that discussion, in that what I refer to as a permission-based selling style, I lost control of that conversation. Now, I'll give you one example of how that can happen. I have a method, for example, anytime I'm going into a sales call, the first thing I'm going to do beyond the obvious of, "Hi, my name's Shawn Benson, great to meet you," and show them my wonderful smile, is I'm going to find out what their resistance is to the merchant service world. I'm going to ask them. Here's one of my golden questions, and if you write down anything from what I have to say here, you might want to write this one down. Just out of curiosity, Mr. Merchant, aside from rates, what's the one thing you would change about your current provider? Just out of curiosity.
Great question.
Now, I do that on purpose before I socially bond with them or business bond with them. I do it for a reason, because once they start liking me, they may not be as transparent to me as they would be otherwise.
Right.
So step 1 in my chassis of controlled communication is embracing resistance. Okay? And again, we've got an acronym going here with the 10-spoke wheel, and we have a short period of time. But so that's always how I engage with a merchant. I want to find out what they do not like about our industry, because I can guarantee you they don't like it. It's just a matter of why.
Correct.
Okay? So back to the scrub for a second, then we have the next letter, which is C. And that C stands for competency. Competency. How can you be confident? How can you put out the right energy walking in, the energy that these superstars like Rich Norton walk in and just naturally have through years of hard work? How can you walk in and be confident and believe in your deliverable if you're not even competent?
Exactly.
So competent, education, base education, that's something I really focus on with my team. Going down the scrub, our next acronym is R, stands for routine. You'll hear all of us talk about a routine, 9 to 5, 8 to 4, 8 to 8. I have some of those. Sure. We all have them all over the board. As silly as it may sound to you to say, a little over 3 years into this business, I can tell you, most days I truly do not feel like I'm working. I'm doing something I have such a passion for. I'm doing something I have such belief in that it does not.
You're having fun.
I'm having fun. Yeah. And it truly doesn't feel like work. And so routine. The routine is to do all the other things necessary The work ethic is a given. I can assure you, I went through combines for the NFL, and I can assure you one thing. When you show up for combines in the NFL, you don't go run wind sprints. They don't run wind sprints. They're not going to get you in shape. If you don't show up to compete for a position on a team, I can promise you one thing. There's 25 to 30 guys there that day that did. So this is about, we want people in this business that have the desire to be professional and to have a professional work routine. So that's the R. The U in Scrub is really goes back to learning. It's understanding. Okay, it's understanding the value of having a systematic thought process to stay in control of a conversation. And finally, the B is my favorite word in sales training, period, and that is belief. So goes the intensity of your belief, so goes your ability to make income.
That's awesome.
Okay.
So belief. Yeah, and I always say this, if you believe in yourself and you believe in what you're doing, it's going to rub off. And it's so true when you talk about confidence. If somebody walks into a business and they're not confident or they're not competent or they don't know what they're talking about, it's written all over their face.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's important to get the knowledge, and where you can walk into a business and you're just not arrogant, like you said, but you're just radiating confidence, because the confidence that you have is going to bring out the confidence in you and the merchant. I like what you talked about. You're getting people to like you, because if they like you, they're going to listen to you.
Absolutely.
And while they're listening to you, they're going to start trusting you. So it's that three: like, listen, trust. And another thing that you pointed out is a lot of times people will give a presentation and they think they lost it in the end, but the reality is they missed something.
They missed
along the way. Yeah, so we only got a couple minutes left, but I just wanted you to share whatever else you had on your heart there.
And real quick, back to the 10-spoke selling wheel, just a little term that I coined, just to walk you through the bullet point version of that. So I teach my sales professionals to walk in and embrace resistance. I teach them the art of social and business bonding in that order. I teach them the art of qualifying, simple but so important.
Excellent.
I teach them the art of educating someone. Educate these folks. They've not been educated about merchant services. I teach the art of digging for more pain to make sure we put our clients in pain on purpose, our prospective clients. We put them on purpose because our solution, our deliverable is real. Then we describe the medication to them, and then we prescribe the medication.
That's right.
We describe it and prescribe it. And then we write the deal, and then when they say thank you, which by the way is the right time to ask for referrals, we ask for referrals every time.
Awesome. Great stuff. Absolutely great. I mean, we could just sit here for hours and just share, and on that note, we're going to be doing several more shows. We've already got a contract signed up to do more here in Atlanta. And I love coming up here because not only do we get to do the shows, but I get to hang out with you guys, and it's fantastic. And that's one thing here is like we are on a journey together. You know, we're not just co-workers. We're brothers. We're friends. We're traveling the beaches of the world. We're family. My goodness, what a pleasure and a blessing having you on the show today.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate you.
My
awesome
pleasure.
Job, and I know each and every one of you appreciate that. And Shawn and Jason and Mitch, they'll be on our future shows, so really absorb everything. If you notice one thing in common, that they say, go to work, go to work, go to work. So great show, fantastic. We're going to see you next time. Today is God's gift to you. What you do with this day is your gift back to God. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Have a super fantastic day.
Thank you.